in the history, like Ukraine was divided many times in the history. It was invaded. There were agreements of sale deed in Ukraine. A similar sale deeds were done in Kashmir. I do not want to go back into the history of it, but important for us at this stage for Kashmiris is to make an awareness, and we will request all of you to help us, whosoever in whatever capacity you can, help spread that occupations must end if conflicts have to be resolved. And unless we have conflicts, whether the conflict is Kashmir, Ukraine, whether it is Solomon Islands, Japan and China, whether it is Cyprus between Turkey and Greece, whether it's all other territorial disputes with other countries, unless we do not as a civilization resolve these conflicts and issues, I think we may be heading towards a nuclear war in some time, God forbid. Because we have that. You have seen President Putin even giving indications that they will, he can use nuclear arsenal. One of his statements, I think, if I am not wrong, says that if Russia is not there, I don't care, the world is there. So that kind of attitude is dangerous. It is ominous for the civilization to sustain. So again, I do not want to, there are other speakers here who would definitely talk about Kashmir, how it is, the human rights abuses are going. But definitely I would request you in your own individual capacity to help Kashmir by making awareness about the place. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. Over 1 million boots on the ground. In the last 30, 40 years, we have lost over 100,000 individuals' lives, 84,000 square mile area, about 24 million people. They need your attention. Every single second that you spend here is valuable. Think about those human beings who are suffering. We certainly do not want to engage ourselves into a political conversation between India and Pakistan, but these individuals who are sitting here have come up with facts and figures that they want to share with you, and then let you decide. People in Kashmir do need your attention. Our next speaker is Altaf Qadri Saab. He is an activist, a current chairman for JKLF, another grassroots organization that strives for the independence of Kashmir. And he also serves on KGC board. Altaf Qadri Saab.
The Ukraine, what does Ukraine teach us? The overall history of Ukraine and its subsequent fallout reminds us that when a conflict is allowed to fester on non-resolution basis, what generally happens then, this is throughout the history if you read it. So all of a sudden, some personality cult comes up who becomes a fascist and destroys the world. And now today, we have many such personality cults around, such as Putin, such as Chinese President, and we have Narendra Modi, the Indian Prime Minister, who is completely as fascist in every word of the definition. And then in Pakistan, you don't have a personality cult, but then you have Pakistan Army as an institution. So in this way, let me give you a brief snapshot about India first. The Prime Minister Modi rose to the power in 2014, and right from the day one, he fanned the communal hatred and put on rails the fascist designs. And it is not what I'm saying, or it's not just a rhetorical statement. Let me give you little data. India fell 26 places from 27 to 53 on democracy index reported by Economist Intelligence. Number two, Free House downgraded. Free House is an organization that takes the data of democracy and human rights. The Free House downgraded India from free to partial free, a status that it shares with countries like Ecuador, Mozambique, and Serbia. Number three, in the same manner, Sweden, VDEM is a variety of democracy, announced that India had ceased to be an electoral democracy, which is a little notch up above China. Then VDEM further describes that India has lost the most democratic ground over the past decade. By this measure, it regressed less than Hungary and Turkey, but more than little bit Bolivia and Thailand. And when all these questions were asked to the Foreign Minister of India, Mr. Jaishankar, in one of the press conclaves, when he was asked about the democracy, human rights, and all that, then he took a pause and then he replied, "Do you want an honest answer?" The press person nodded yes. Then he said, "Democracy is hypocrisy." Okay. So therefore, this is where Kashmiris are from the Indian side. Let me touch a little bit Pakistan. On the other side, Pakistan promotes also communal hatred to use it as a tool to divide Kashmiris from within our national boundaries and outside our national boundaries through corruption. Pakistan and India basically have similar designs. They pursue the policy of an unwritten agenda to divide Kashmiris and claim the issue is resolved. And in that 2019 Pakistan staging a charade-off show of assembly highlighted was annexed, Gilgit-Baltistan was annexed and declared as a fifth province of Pakistan. Pakistan further exploits the natural resources, and India too, like forests and water, deprives its people from the benefits of their own resources and reduces as serfs in our own land. I thank you very much.
Thank you, Altaf Qadri Sahab. I do want to say this. When we talk about India and Pakistan, there are certain pockets, people who make policies against the wishes and the will of their own country's people. So these are the people who bring the countries down because of their flawed policies, unfortunately. Our next speaker is an activist. She has, I call her a Friends of Kashmir. She have always made herself available anytime we need her to speak. She is a director for a genocide awareness project. Dr. Beverly Hill.
Greetings. I'm honored to speak here tonight, truly honored. I bring a message of solidarity to you in this room and to the people of Kashmir beyond it. Your cause is noble and just. Though it may not be apparent to you, solidarity for Kashmir extends deep into America. We want independence and self-determination for Kashmir, just as we want it for Tibet, Hong Kong, Palestine, and of course Ukraine. We grieve, we wince when we read about the vicious measures used to break the will of so many subject peoples. Your struggle is valiant. The last 3 years have been Kashmir's darkest hour, and yet they have been your finest hour. You have not given up, even after 75 years. Instead, you plumbed the depths of your souls, and despite your exhaustion, you found new resolve and new determination more than ever before. I salute you who have given your time, effort, and treasure for this cause. You are a small group with limited resources, but you are small and mighty. In the 3 years since August 2019, you have sprung into action and accomplished so much. First, you mobilized to help your countrymen and women, letting them know that they were not forgotten, that you would keep their plight before the world's eyes and advocate indefinitely until foreign powers withdrew and civil liberties were reestablished. Second, you peeked behind the veil of news censorship and internet shutdowns, carefully collecting news that leaked out of Kashmir. You reported to the world on the hidden horrors occurring there. Third, you kept the media focused on the situation. We know that the media has a short attention span and ignores whatever it cannot photograph. To keep Kashmir alive in the news behind this veil, you had to be very creative. Your protest at the Howdy Modi rally was a stroke of genius. You forced the media to report on Kashmir even as Trump embraced a tyrant. Your protest in Toronto was another clever tactic because you brought the case before a government far more concerned with human rights and territorial sovereignty than the Trump administration. Fourth, you developed a blueprint for Kashmir to transition to self-rule. In the interest of time, I'll skip the details. Fifth, you have created a model for Kashmir's economic development using another mountainous country, Switzerland, as your model. Last but not least, you plan for a country where women enjoy equal rights and education and help build the new economy. Thank you for that. I too have a cause and often feel overwhelmed. Some days I find it difficult to summon my inner warrior to continue the fight. I think you know this feeling too, and yet you soldier on, we soldier on, to confront powers that are illegitimate but overwhelming. This brings to mind the words of poet Maya Angelou. You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still, like dust, I'll rise. You may shoot me with your words. You may cut me with your eyes. You may kill me with your hatefulness. But still, like air, I'll rise. You will rise. We will rise. We are allies, but tonight we focus on your struggle, and I stand wholeheartedly with you.
We had our other speaker who have dedicated her spot to her husband. His name is Ahmet Belado. He is a scholar and a renowned expert on the issues such as cultural, societal, and political factors that matters. And he lives in Irving with his wife, Annette French. So may I ask Ahmed to share some few words with us?
Thank you very much. My name is Ahmet. I didn't realize I'm going to speak here tonight. I didn't prepare any speech, but I will try my best based on a little bit understanding of what's going on in Kashmir. And the best thing what we need to do, see, I'm very special in having success, because we can have meeting every day. If we don't achieve anything, we're not going to go nowhere. The best is just like Palestine. They've been fighting for over, 70 years. They haven't got the land. But the best thing what we need to do, we have to combine. The first thing, we need to know what we need to achieve every day. Talk only, it doesn't solve problem. It can give us exposure so that they know our concern. We have to have a real strategy. What's going to make Kashmir free totally. My suggestion is the first thing is to focus on the independence. Make sure the Kashmir have their own independence. At the same time, based on what I see in the map, you cannot make enemy. You have to find one of them that you have a common either religion, either language, because you have a three nuclear power that surround you. You can't make all of their enemy. If you want to choose Pakistan as your friend, so that you can start working from there as a base, because you cannot be working to have your independence from outside, where you can, when you make China, Pakistan, India as enemy. The first goal is to fight, let Pakistan, China, and India know that we want independence. We'll be happy to work with you after we get our independence. We'll have a representative in your country after we have independence. Then the next step is when we have the independence, we will have a referendum. So how we want to govern the society. We have to have a strong ally. I understand you can have a strong ally like US that can help you. We need ally in everything to achieve goal. That's the way I say it, and I pray to God so that we can achieve our goal to free Kashmir. Thank you.
Our next speaker he is from Ground Zero, from Srinagar, and he is current CEO of CIS USA, Muneer Baig.
Hope you don't mind if I stand up. I came to know that I'm going to speak just a few hours ago. So Ahmed, don't worry, you're not alone on that boat. It makes two of us. Being a Kashmiri who was raised in Kashmir and has seen this struggle start and has seen the blood shed, has any friends left alive? It is a personal thing. Unfortunately, living in the West, or fortunately, I will leave that to you to decide, When we look at United States, I came to this country 32 years ago, right after the struggle started. My parents pushed me out because the only other option was, just like my friends, be dead a long time ago. When we look at United States as a beacon of hope for the world, when we look at Ukraine, what happened in Ukraine, all of a sudden, every city, every county, every state started rallying to support. My question to my countrymen is, why? Why was it when Ukraine was attacked, you stood up like a wall against Russia and were willing to fund billions of dollars when we are in deficit for Ukrainian war? Why are we ignoring other wars in the world? Is it just because they are disposable? They don't look the same? I'm sorry. Some of these words might offend people, but let's talk the truth. Are we discriminating? Are we creating a hypocritic system whereby United States, the beacon of hope, is only the beacon of hope for those that please it? Or are we going to be the human rights champion for all humankind? If we want to be the human rights champions for all humankind, then we must treat everybody equal. Or else we're sending a signal to the world that we will treat you differently, and with the consequences, then when we go out and need their help, they say, thank you very much, it was nice dealing with you before, we're not going to invest. Pakistan today, you look at the war that took place in Afghanistan, 80,000 lives of Pakistanis have been lost. Nobody counts that. 100+ thousand Kashmiris have been lost in the last 10 years. As I told you, my own friends, I might have maybe 2 or 3 left from my school days. That's about it. Everybody else is dead. When I was 16 or 18 in Kashmir, what army used to do, they used to cordon off the areas, pick up all the youth, and take them and kill them. I know my friends who were taken up from their houses and next day delivered back to their parents saying they were shot at the border crossing. You picked him up last night, and their whole body was torn up with stitches because they tortured them to get some information, which there was none. My own parents, there was an incident that took place in our area. They called the fire brigade because that was another practice of the army. Any area where there was a firing on them, they will cordon the area, put the gunpowder and light up the area and burn everything up. They called the fire brigade that they're going to start burning the area, you better be here. And the fire brigade was stopped and asked, who called you? And we're one of the known families, and so-and-so called us. My 80-year-old grandfather was dragged out of his bed, hit by a gun butt, and kind of dragged out in the street and put kerosene oil on top of him, and my uncle's ready to be burned. This is Kashmir that we know nothing about. This is not Ukraine where we see the videos every day. This is a place that has been blocked from communicating outside the world. The only voice they have is the voice here. It requires